Hey YouTube, Tuxie999CD here, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon HeartGold and Soul Silver. This is our playthrough, and last episode we started this beautiful playthrough and picked up our starter, Apollo the Cyndaquil, who is steadily poking at the ground. I've actually had to record this episode because I had a recording error where my recording software just decided to give up. So we're going to proceed onwards. In this episode, we're going to make our way to Violet City and hopefully add some more members to the team because Apollo's getting lonely. So, on that of this Hoo-Hoo, which is a nighttime encounter, let's go over the encounters for Route 29. Okay, first, let's cover over one Pokemon we've seen already. Pidgey. Pidgey is a very decent choice if you want a flying type on your team. It evolves into Pidgeotto at level 18 and then Pidgeot at level 36 and can definitely be a very valuable member. It's got some decent physical moves it can pick up and it's fairly fast as well. And is pretty much an optimal choice for most players. So, feel free to pick this one up if you really want to. Next, let's go over the pretty much regional rodent of this game, and that being Sentret. Sentret is okay. It's not great, but it's not bad either. It evolves into Furret at level 15, but it's definitely got some interesting move. It's got a very diverse move pool that you can definitely take advantage of with coverage moves like Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and Solar Beam. And it's got some interesting moves like Sucker Punch and Me First, which you can definitely make some fun builds with. However, it is worth noting that Sentret is definitely worth picking up even if you're not going to use it, because it can use 4 HM moves that you're going to be using in Johto, 5 if you're playing HeartGold Soul Silver. And it's definitely worth for that reason. Stat-wise, it's got decent speed and okay HP, but everything else is just not as optimal. There are definitely better normal types if you want to pick one up. But hey, if you want to Sentret or Furret, all power to you. Next, we've got Rattata. So Rattata, a lot of people will know as a very frail regional Kanto rodent. However, Raticate is definitely not something to sleep on when Rattata becomes level 20. It gets an interesting array of moves available to it, such as Hyper Fang, Sucker Punch, and Super Fang, Endeavor, and some decent coverage moves being a normal type. It can be fun to use, however, just bear in mind, while it is fast, it is very frail. It has very low HP, defense, and special defense. It can prove challenging on some runs, being able to cut HP in half, but it's going to be fairly frail. So if you want a challenge, feel free to pick this up, but honestly, there are definitely much better normal types that you can make use of. Next, we have Hoo-Hoo, which can only be encountered during the nighttime. Hoo-Hoo and Noctowl are interesting in that they're a regional bird that's more defensive than all the others. Hoo-Hoo evolves into Noctowl at level 20, but Noctowl actually has some decent moves in its move pool. It gains a vast amount of psychic moves that you could definitely make an interesting build out of. And while its TM coverage isn't amazing, it still can make use of some very interesting moves that are psychic, which can definitely catch fighting types by surprise. But I definitely would not recommend it. If you want a regional bird, I definitely recommend Pidgey over Noctowl. But this is definitely more bulkier than Pidgey. So if you want a bit more bulk, feel free to pick this one up. Next, we have our first Crystal exclusive. During the mornings, you can find Hoppip on this route. Hoppip evolves into Skiploon at level 18, and then into Jumpluff at level 27. And this isn't a great grass type. It does get some good moves, like Poison Powder, Stun Spore, Sleep Powder, Leech Seed. But honestly, other than its very high 110 speed as a Jumpluff, as its space stat, it doesn't have the stats to take effect of using the moves that it has. Pretty much, if you want a Jumpluff, you need to make sure you build a set that's more about inflicting status conditions and gaining life through Leech Seed, Mega Drain, Giga Drain. Those are what I recommend. But if you're looking to this as a grass type, there are far better you can pick up. So, I've got some people wondering, what will my end team be? And I do have some interesting choices. Well, I've got some interesting picks I've chosen. Some I've used before, some people might not have used before, and others I've not really used before. And hopefully, I'll learn to like them by using them. Anyway, Route 46, we've got some very interesting encounters available to us here that are definitely worth picking up. So, let's go over them. Kicking things off with Geodude. Geodude, a lot of people will remember this as a very common Pokemon you will find in caves. However, Geodude is fairly decent, actually. It evolves into Graveler at level 25, and then Golem via trading. It does get some decent moves. It gets moves such as Explosion and Self-Destruct, which are very deadly. Especially in Generation 2, when Explosion is still overpowered as hell. Considering Explosion is a physical 250 power move in the remakes. Yeah, it's very powerful. It also has access to same type attack bonus Earthquake, Rollout, Stone Edge, and a decent array of TMs providing coverage. Gyro Ball, Focus Blast, Fire Blast, even Flamethrower, Brick Break, Dig. You can definitely make a decent Golem. Just bear in mind you will have to trade it. It's also I also recommend picking one up if you want a slight edge over the next gym. But Golem ultimately becomes a very bulky physical attacker that can definitely do some damage if given the right moveset. Next up, we have Spearow, which can be encountered during any time of the day except night. Spearow is very, very good in terms of an offensive Pokemon. And when it becomes Spearow at level 20, it definitely gets some very nice moves. Drill Peck, Mirror Move, just to name a few. Not to mention, it can definitely deal out some decent damage when it needs to. With a base 100 speed stat and 90 attack stat, it's definitely not something to sleep on. Now, if you really want to use Spearow, I definitely recommend holding off for now, because there is a much better way to get Spearow than now. But it is still very good and viable to pick up now. Next, we have an exclusive for Gold and Silver. So, this Pokemon is a 5% encounter chance, And it's Jigglypuff. Yeah, very odd. Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff are not amazing. In this game, it's a normal type that has a bunch of HP and not much else to say. 70 attack, 75 special attack. The problem Wigglytuff has is that it really heavily relies on TMs and move tutors to be able to get some decent moves. Granted, in Crystal it can get Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, and Ice Beam. It's not available here in Crystal. It also has access to the Elemental Punches, Shadow Ball, Psychic. However, the moves that it gets from Jigglypuff are not really worth to write home about. It gets Rest, Rollout, and Body Slam as the only ones I could really say are viable. Double Edge if you really want to risk it. Because since Wigglytuff is a Pokemon that evolves through a Moonstone and Evolution Stone, it doesn't really learn any moves leveling up. Honestly, this is one you want to probably give a pass on. It's not that amazing. Although, speaking of all the games, in Crystal, in the morning you have a very nice encounter here. And it is a 5% chance of Phanpy. Now, while this may have a chance to literally flee the battle, it's definitely worth picking up. It evolves into Donphan at level 25, and granted, it doesn't really get any ground moves until very late game. It has some very nice stats. It has a base attack and defense stat of 120, which can make it a very bulky offensive Pokemon, especially when combined with its base 90 HP. It can definitely be a threat given the right moveset. Not to mention, this thing can... I've used this before in playthroughs of Johto, and it is a beast. Unfortunately, if you're playing any of the Gold or Silver games, we're going to have to wait a while before we're actually going to be able to grab a Phanpy. But it is definitely worth picking up if you are playing Crystal. I do recommend it. Okay, with those encounters out the way, we have made it to Cherry Grove City. Now, let's go to the Pokemon Mart a quick sec. And in the Pokemon Mart, there's some items we can get. Now, I've went and got ahead some Pokeballs. And I bought 10 of them. Because we're going to probably need them to catch more Pokemon. But we can buy Pokeballs, we can get some potions, buy some Paralyze Heals, which cure paralysis. We've got antidotes, which can cure poison. And that's cool. Now, this cleric up the top here is only in the remakes. This cleric has Airmail and Heal Balls. Mail is just to write messages to other people, but Heal Balls, they're exactly Pokeballs, but when you catch the Pokemon, they actually fully heal the Pokemon and eliminate status problems, which is only really good if you have space in your party. Otherwise, they're not really that good, so definitely worth giving a pass on them. Also, I should mention, when you buy 10 Pokeballs, you get one Premier Ball, which is just a different colored Pokeball, which has the same odds as a Pokemon, it's just white. So, yeah. As you can see, we got some potions and we got an antidote, which is what we've picked up before. So, I'm just gonna pop to the Pokemon Center and then we'll make our way down Route 31. Okay, Route 30! Let's make our way, and we get through without any encounters. Interesting. But we'll get an encounter here, won't we? Yep, we do! And on that note, let's cover the encounters for Route 30. So, there are 2 version exclusives that we have available. The first is Caterpie. Caterpie is your generic early bug Pokemon that evolves very early on, but is very bad. You can also find its evolved form Metapod, which, well, less likely, only has Harden if you encounter it. So if you want a Metapod, evolve it from a Caterpie. It evolves into Butterfree about level 10, and it does get some powder moves, which can help catch Pokemon, but they're not any good. I should also mention, Caterpie only appears in HeartGold and Gold. Caterpie appears in Crystal, along with its other counterpart, Weedle. If you are playing the Silver games, you can find Weedle. Weedle is a bug poison version of Caterpie. And again, the Silver games, you can find its evolved form Kakuna, which only has Harden. If you really want a Kakuna, evolve a Weedle. You're doing yourself a favor. But at level 10, it'll evolve into Beedrill. Beedrill! It's kind of a more offensive Butterfree. It does get some access to poison moves, which can be very beneficial. So if you want the ability to be able to poison, feel free. But there are far, far, far better bug types that you could go for. Let's stick with the exclusives. In the Silver games, and in the morning for the Silver games and Pokemon Crystal, you can find Ledyba. Ledyba is disappointing. It is disappointing. I believe if I remember correctly, it evolves about like level 16, around that area, into Ledian, which isn't good. It just isn't. They want Ledian to be a sort of weird punching hybrid, but it's more special gifted, which just doesn't work. Ledian can learn a multiple of the punch moves, and I believe also gets Iron Fist, which boosts punch moves, but Ledian just doesn't have the physical attack stack to be able to make use of it. Definitely do not recommend picking up. However, at night, in Crystal and the Pokemon Gold games, you can find, arguably, Ledyba's counterpart. You can find Spinarak. Spinarak is bug poison, and it doesn't really do much. It evolves into Ariados, which can get access to Sticky Web, which is a hazard trap for HeartGold, Soul Silver. But other than that, it's not got amazing stuff going for it, but it's definitely better than Ledian. So it is worth picking up. Next, we have the Crystal exclusives. Again, you can find Hoppip here, but we're not worried about Hoppip because at night, you can actually find Poliwag at a 20% chance in the grass. And I should mention, we'll be able to encounter Poliwag on this route as in Gold and Silver, but much later on. Poliwag, however, is interesting because it has 2 different final evolutions. It goes from Poliwag to Poliwhirl. Then, depending on which one you want to go for, you have 2 different options. If you use a Water Stone on Poliwhirl, it becomes the water-fighting Poliwrath. Poliwrath, I'd say, is decent. The only downside it has in the original games is that Poliwrath won't be able to use an effective physical water-type move. But it can definitely be made decent if you give it the right moveset. However, if you give Poliwhirl a King's Rock and trade it, you will actually get a probably much better Pokemon in my opinion, Politoed. Politoed has been used competitively on rain-oriented teams because of its ability Drizzle. Politoed is somewhat bulky, and honestly I would recommend only because you can build a team around the rain. Poliwhirl, granted, Poliwrath can decently physically sweep, but just not that well. So, if you have a buddy and a King's Rock, feel free to pick one up. Just a side note, my Cyndaquil has actually become level 10 and learned Ember. Ember is the same type attack move that will take advantage of its special stat, which will definitely come in handy. Our final encounter is, again, a Crystal exclusive, but you can find Zubat here. Zubat is a very underrated Pokemon, and I'll talk a bit more about Zubat later down the line, because Zubat is going to be available a bit further on, and I'll talk about it there, but it's definitely worth mentioning here. So, we've basically have been going through without no problems. We've got Apollo, level 10, timid, just learned Ember, which is very good. Same type attack bonus, special move, which is definitely gonna benefit a lot from. Up ahead, we have our first trainer battle, so let's get to it. I just lost, so I'm trying to find more Pokemon. Wait, you look weak. Come on, let's battle! Let's do it, mate. Bring it on. What have you got? Youngster Joey sends out Rattata, level 4. Okay. This is gonna be a cakewalk. You actually have quick attack this early on. Wow, I did not expect that. And like that, we have defeated this beast of a Rattata. Oh, I'm at a Pokemon. Yeah, we got some money and sent some to Mom. Hey, can I get your number? I'll ring you up to battle. So, yes, you can rematch trainers by getting their phone numbers. So, now Joey here can ring us anytime and talk about various things. And eventually, we'll get challenged to battle. So, let's move on to our second Pokemon trainer battle. Against youngster Mikey, who apparently beat Joey. And he has 2 Pokemon, which is definitely more challenging. So, one thing I should note. Pokemon will get more experience by defeating trainers' Pokemon than if they were fighting wild Pokemon. So, trainers are very good to level up on, however, just bear in mind they are typically stronger than the local wild Pokemon. So that is something to bear in mind when you're trying to level up your Pokemon. And we beat Mikey! We got the same amount of money and sent some to Mom. Okay, let's press on onward. This person's not a trainer. I'm not a trainer, but if you look one in the eyes, prepare to battle. So, yeah. Essentially, what she was hinting at is, as you can see, this trainer is looking this way. You can avoid trainers, and you don't have to battle them. So, I'll probably come back and grind on him, use him for XP. Okay, next we have Route 31, which does have some new encounters, so we'll get into those right now. Okay, so we only have 2 Pokemon to mention here. The first is during any time you can encounter your first alternate option for a grass type, which is Bellsprout. Bellsprout can be decent. It was OP in the original games because Rap was just so powerful, but they nerfed Rap drastically. Bellsprout evolves into Weeping Bell and then into Victory Bell by a Leaf Stone, and is decent, I'd say. Definitely a good option for a grass type if you need one. And the last Pokemon that you can encounter here is a Crystal exclusive. Joy, boy, I should be playing Crystal, shouldn't I? But it is actually a Pokemon we'll be encountering very soon anyway. It is Ghastly. Ghastly is very good, especially in the 4th generation onwards. Because of the physical special split, Ghastly is now a beast. It evolves into Haunter about level 25, if I remember correctly. I'll probably correct myself on screen right now, or you'll get a little title card showing off when it evolves. And then it evolves into Gengar via a trade. Gengar is now a special beast and can sweep teams if given the right moveset. Poison Ghost, well, it's still weak to Psychic. It could definitely put in some work, especially on the once powerful Psychic type in Gen 2. So definitely consider picking it up if you really want a powerhouse of a ghost type. Okay, this item here, we got a potion. And as this little cave here is Dark Cave. We won't be able to fully explore it, but we do get some encounters here. And it's definitely worth checking those encounters out. So, why don't we hop on inside? Okay, Dark Cave will give you limited vision as well, and there is like one item we can get right now, which I'll just navigate to. But if you didn't get a Geodude earlier, you can encounter it here. Zubat is also available here. However, the two big new encounters you can get here. The first is a 1% chance. Yeah. It is Dunsparce. Dunsparce is a Pokemon that, when you look at it, has so much potential and feels like it definitely needs an evolved form. However, this evolved form does not exist. And it's a shame because Dunsparce has some good moves that it could make use of, but it just doesn't have the stats to make use of it. But if you really want a challenge, feel free picking up a Dunsparce if you really want. It's up to you. And the last one is a Crystal exclusive that we will not be getting for a while. And it's Teddiursa. Teddiursa is arguably a very decent physical attacker when it fully evolves into Ursaring. It has a very solid attack stat, but can be very frail. Paired up with its Guts ability, it could deal out some damage. Plus, Teddiursa is also handy to pick up because of its ability Pickup, which will let you randomly pick up items within a leveled range. So while you're walking, you could find Teddiursa randomly has an item, and thus you pick up like a potion, for example. And it can get ridiculous to TMs, max revives, and all those fun OP items for the late game. So definitely worth picking up Teddiursa. Alright, Apollo just became level 11. And there is one Pokemon I definitely want to catch here. So, HeartGold, Soul Silver, and the originals. There's 3 Pokemon here. Geodude, Zubat, and Dunsparce. Some people... Now, some people are probably thinking, Toots, what Pokemon are you looking for? Because it's clearly not Geodude, because if you wanted a Geodude, you would have picked one up already. Well, my friends, the answer is very simple. But first, right here, we have a potion. Worth picking up, because it's a free potion, and who doesn't like free items? Come on. These Geodudes, man. Yes, we got it! Zubat! Zubat is the encounter we are looking for. I want to use Zubat because a lot of people give Zubat flag, thinking, oh, it's the annoying common cave encounter, and thus sucks. Zubat is a very good Pokemon and becomes very fast. The downside with Zubat, it doesn't really get any good moves early on, which is a shame, because when it becomes its final form, it will be amazing. Okay, let's try and catch this in a Pokeball. Full HP, level 2, let's do it. Yes, we got Zubat! Now, I'm not going to reset for natures and everything like that, because that's just going to take a long time, But yes, we got Zubat, the Bat Pokemon, Poison Flying type. While flying, it constantly emits ultrasonic waves from its mouth to check its surroundings. So, let's call you... I mean, it's a bat. Are we gonna name it anything else? Let's have a look at Dracula, Zubat. Docile, and only leech life. It's not amazing? Yes, I'm happy with that. It'll take some training, but we'll get there. Okay, moving on. I walked too far there looking for a Pokemon. My feet hurt and I'm sleepy. If I were a wild Pokemon, I'd be easy to catch. Cool story, bro. Okay, here we have an apricorn tree, a black apricorn. I do recommend farming black apricorns when you can. We got an item here, so let's grab that. A Pokeball! Cool, we just used one to catch Dracula. So, let's avoid you. There is one Pokemon I do recommend catching on this route, and that is Bellsprout. I was gonna say, if I was a Bellsprout, perfect timing, but no. Because there is something we can get into once we get to Violet City. And dear god, our Cyndaquil is overleveled. I found a good Pokemon in Dark Cave! I'm going to raise it and take on Faulkner! He's the leader of Violet City's gym! Speaking of Violet City, here we are, and hey Lyra. I knew it was you, Toxic! How did you get past me? Here's something neat for surprising me, Toxic. We obtained the Voice Recorder! This allows you to record battles when you're playing on Connection or in a feature we'll get into, which is in the remakes. The Voice Recorder can record your Pokemon battles. I have to go now. I won't let you pass me again. Let's go, Meryl! And she's gone. You must be an adventuring trainer. Did you challenge the Pokemon gym yet? Dude, I literally just walked through. But here we are, Violet City. We care about the traditional buildings around here. That's why even the Pokemart and Pokemon Center are painted to a bit somberly to blend in. Fair enough. Okay, this guy is only in the originals. A shard the berry, a shard the berry. Yeah, I trade a berry for a shard. If you bring me some shards, I will give you 3 berries, yeah? We don't have any right now. But, cool. But we've made it to Violet City. So, without further ado, I'm gonna call it there. So, thank you guys for watching this far. Please, if you enjoyed, leave a like. And hopefully, I have earned your subscription today. Share this video around. Tell all your friends, hey, I found this cool YouTuber that is kind of a lame-o, but I like him. But anyway, next episode, we'll see if we can do the gym, explore Violet City, and do some preparation for the gym leader. Off screen, I'll also train up Dracula so that he's a bit better to use. So, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!